at a really critical point in history right now in terms of the need to really change our language on climate change and really raise our level of ambition. Would you rather be working on a challenge that says, create a product for us that loves carbon and shows that we can solve reverse global warming, or knock off another 10% in terms of the reduction of the carbon footprint of the product? What's more exciting? You want to work on the product that's going to manifest an intention to solve the biggest issue facing humanity. Who doesn't want to do that? So here's my advice for a company who thinks that they can't do anything on climate change. Interface had a very similar way of thinking. We had been completely focused on this idea of incremental change and reducing carbon impact, and we had gotten quite far. Believing you're not going to be able to solve it is an incredibly limiting perspective. And the second we raised our ambition level and really framed our approach to climate as a positive, that perspective change completely changed the way we looked at our business. It changed the way we look at our opportunities. It changed the way we look at our raw materials. So just changing your ambition and having a little bit of courage and belief can actually shift you from this idea of we can't do anything to starting to see solutions. Interface has a very interesting lineage as a sustainability leader. It's a 43-year-old company. Halfway through its life, it did a major pivot, or as Interface would say, a mid-course correction, when the founder, Ray Anderson, heard a question from a customer. And the question was, what is your company doing for the environment? And our sales team had no idea how to answer that question, and it manifested itself by us losing a really big order. It got back to our CEO, and it kicked off a conversation at the company that led to his personal transformation. He stood up and said, we've fundamentally been doing business the wrong way. We're gonna turn into a business that has a restorative impact, and the first thing we're gonna do is go for zero footprint. Interface has named a new mission at the company. We call it Climate Take Back, and it's provocatively named that way for a reason. We really want to get the entire business focused on what we can do to advance towards climate action. And by making that a mission and by naming the goal of creating a climate fit for life, we've put carbon front and center in our business. And it goes beyond this idea of just reducing carbon. It's not just proof of this idea that you can do more good, but the way that you do that, sort of the deep collaboration that's needed, the openness to new ideas, the ability to sort of manage a partnership with a group of really different, interesting stakeholders that aren't a billion-dollar business. And it's been a really interesting learning that I think is foundational for how our business is going to function in the future. We're going to need innovation in terms of identifying new raw materials that go beyond just being low carbon or carbon neutral, but actually act as carbon sequestrers or carbon storers. You know, we want to make that carbon in the products work a lot harder. We also have to rethink our factory operations. And it's not enough now to say we just want to have a low carbon footprint factory. We actually want to go beyond that and say, can we use the factory operations to actively store carbon just like a natural sink would? We're already seeing in our built environment space, architects and designers acknowledging the role they play in affecting the issue of climate change. And if we can make them think differently and more ambitiously and deliver them products that will help them design spaces and buildings that can contribute to creating a climate fit for life, I think they're going to be amazed and excited about that opportunity. There is definitely this feeling that businesses are shy about raising their level of ambition. Either they're secretly optimistic or they don't really believe that we can address climate change in a non-incremental way. And so one intention we have immediately is to share this research. It's quite interesting. We reached out to global climate leaders. 95% of them think it's possible. But we don't hear that. We also really want to highlight who are some of the pioneering companies who are actually doing this. Seeing those things manifest will actually help accelerate this conversation. We want businesses to understand and believe that solutions are possible. Right now, we need optimism and we need some courage. We almost need that more than we need science or data. it's going to keep our innovation teams really excited, and that's when the best ideas happen.